Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something super important in Rune Slayer, the races. When you first create a character, the game will randomly assign you a race. While you can re-roll it if you're willing to spend some Robux, it's crucial to know what each race brings to the table. So in today's video, we're going to break down the different races in Rune Slayer and give you the lowdown on what they're great at and what they're not so great at. Whether you're thinking about re-rolling or just curious about what each race can do, this guide will help you make the right choice. Now, some races are going to shine in certain areas, while others might leave you feeling a bit underwhelmed. You might get lucky with a race that suits your playstyle, or you might find yourself stuck with one that's a little less powerful. But don't worry, we've got you covered with our Rune Slayer race tier list, so you'll know exactly which races to aim for and which ones might not be worth your time. Stick around, because we're about to make your character creation process a whole lot easier. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking races in Rune Slayer. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of tier list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching.
A very small portion of the audience is subscribed to the channel. Please don't forget to subscribe if you like these types of videos. Thanks.
The races in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right. Orc. Alright, let's talk about the Orc race in Rune Slayer, one of the more interesting options, but definitely not the first choice if you're aiming for something top tier. Orcs are all about brute strength and resilience. They've got some solid passive abilities that make them great for taking hits and staying in the fight longer. For example, their battle-hardened ability gives them a nice 10% boost to base HP regeneration, meaning they can tank damage and still heal up faster than most races. So if you're the type who likes to be in the thick of things, swinging away while your health slowly climbs back up, Orcs are your go-to. But, and it's a big but, Orcs come with a catch. They need food. A lot of food. Thanks to their ravenous ability, their maximum hunger is 15% higher than other races, so you'll find yourself munching down on more rations than you'd expect. It's a fair trade-off, though more sustenance means more strength in battle, right? You'll definitely need to plan ahead with food supplies if you're going to keep the Orc engine running. Another cool perk is their Ashwalker ability, which gives them a 20% boost in heat resistance. If you're heading into a hot zone or a fiery battle, the Orcs are the ones who can weather the heat without breaking a sweat. So while they might not be the most flexible or agile race, they've got a lot going for them when it comes to durability and surviving longer, grueling fights. Just don't forget the snacks. The races in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, human. Alright, let's dive into the world of Rune Slayer and talk about one of the more interesting races you can choose, the humans in the C tier. Now, before you roll your eyes, hear me out. They might not be the flashy pick, but they've got some cool tricks up their sleeve. Humans bring a unique set of passive abilities to the table that could really make a difference depending on how you like to play. First off, there's tenacity, which is honestly a game changer when your HP is below 50%. You get a nice little boost to your damage output, and you also take less damage. So, if you're the type who likes to play risky, this could be a huge benefit. Plus, Golems Slayer is perfect for those of you who find yourself facing off against undead enemies. You'll dish out extra damage when fighting these creepy creatures, which is always handy in certain situations. And then there's hunger efficiency, giving you a bonus to both mana and focus efficiency. This means you'll be able to use your abilities more often, keeping you in the fight longer. But let's not forget about Human's special ability, Surge. It's simple but effective. Drain 50 hunger to boost your stamina. It's a solid move when you're feeling the pressure and need that little extra push to keep going. While humans may not have the over-the-top abilities of some other races, their combination of survivability and efficiency makes them an interesting pick, especially if you play with a strategic mindset. So, while they might sit in C tier, don't sleep on the humans. They've got their own strengths that can really shine when used correctly. The races in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Elf and Yurin. Alright, let's dive into some of the coolest races in Rune Slayer, starting with the Elf and Yurin. These two are definitely not your typical fantasy characters. They bring a lot of flair and personality to the game. First up, we've got the Elf. They may not have the bulk of a tank, but trust me, you don't want to underestimate them. Elves are like the sneaky, agile ninjas of the Rune Slayer world. Thanks to their Strider passive, they get a sweet boost in speed, stealth, and reduced cooldowns, making them hard to pin down in combat. And when they go invisible with their Duskwalk ability, it's like they're just gone, making them perfect for surprise attacks or quick escapes. So while they may not be the tankiest, their speed and stealth make them an excellent choice for archers or spellcasters. Plus, with their added mana and focus as they level, they're ready to dish out some serious damage from a distance. Then there's the Allurin. And oh boy, where do I even start with these cat ears cuties? Honestly, the Allurin just has vibes. With their fleet-foot ability, they zoom across the map faster than anyone else. Not only that, but their Prowler ability makes them jump 25% higher, which means no obstacle is too high for them to scale. This makes them perfect for exploration, or if you just need to get away from trouble fast. Oh, and don't even get me started on their beastly coat. The Allurin is tough to take down when it comes to elemental damage. With increased fire resistance and a huge boost to cold and heat resistance, they're pretty much unstoppable in harsh environments. But seriously, let's talk about those jumps. Allurin are like little parkour experts, hopping around with ease. Imagine scaling cliffs, leaping over gaps, or even dodging enemy attacks by jumping at just the right moment. They're built for mobility. Pair that with their speed, and they're literally a blur in battle, making them one of the most versatile and fun races to play in Rune Slayer. And the best part? Allurin might be fast, but they're also built for survival. With their resistances to fire, cold, and heat, they've got the endurance to make it through some of the toughest zones in the game. Whether you're adventuring through a fiery landscape or braving freezing tundras, the Allurin is always prepared for whatever the world throws at them. So, while both the Elf and Allurin are great in their own ways, they shine in different areas. The Elf is all about stealth, precision, and spellcasting, making them ideal for those who want to outsmart their enemies and strike from the shadows. The Allurin, on the other hand, is all about speed, agility, and resilience. They're the perfect choice if you're looking for a race that can handle both exploration and combat with style. In the end, it's all about playstyle. Do you prefer being a sneaky, fast-moving elf who can deal damage from afar, or a swift, tough cat person who can leap across the battlefield and survive the elements? Whatever you choose, both of these races bring a lot to the table in Rune Slayer. The races in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Dollahan. Alright, let's talk about one of the coolest races in Rune Slayer, the Dollahan. These guys are an absolute force to be reckoned with. They're undead, they regenerate health when they slay enemies, and their resilience is insane, almost like they have a natural tankiness built in. And let's not forget about their unique ability to take off their head and use it as a freaking camera. It's not just for looks either, it's actually super useful for scouting out areas ahead of you, but that's just the beginning of the fun. When Dollahans hit level 15, their Death Sickle turns into Soul Harvest. Talk about an upgrade. This ability summons a spectral Grim Reaper scythe that can slice through enemies like butter. It's not just cool for the theme, either. It's a powerful move that tears through enemies and makes you feel like an unstoppable Deathbringer. Plus, their passive abilities make them even tankier, with cold resistance, robustness, and a neat little bonus when killing enemies. Sure, they have a weakness to holy damage, but hey, no one's perfect, right? The best part? Dollahans just have this chilling vibe with their undead nature and soul harvesting powers, but they're also really fun to play. Imagine taking down the enemies, regenerating health, and sending them off with a sickening scythe swing. It doesn't get much more satisfying than that. If you love a race that's tough, regenerates health, and just oozes cool factor, then Dollahan is absolutely a race you want to dive into in Rune Slayer. Trust me, you won't regret it. The races in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Slime and Half Golem. Alright, let's dive into two of the most interesting races in Rune Slayer, the Slime and the Half Golem. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Slime? That doesn't sound too powerful, does it? But hold on, because these guys have some seriously cool tricks up their sleeves. Let's start with the Slime. At first glance, they may seem a little squishy, and they're actually weak to fire and magic. Not exactly your go-to if you're expecting to tank through some heavy magic blasts, but that's where things get really interesting. When slimes take damage, they release smaller slimes to fight for them. Yep, you heard that right. Hit a slime and you might find yourself suddenly surrounded by tiny slime minions, which can really change the tide of a battle. And with a 25% overall immunity to status effects, they can shrug off some nasty debuffs that would normally cripple other races. But that's not all. Slimes also have a unique ability called Viscous Shock. For just 10 magic, they can sacrifice a bit of their own health to send out a shockwave of slime that will deal damage to anyone in the area. Think of it as a last-ditch attack when things get a little too intense. If that wasn't enough, their Black Ooze slime upgrade turns their slime into a more dangerous version. With a higher poison potency and a boost to viscous shock, the slime may be small, but it packs a punch when used right. Now, let's talk about the half golem. Imagine the tankiest character you can think of and then make them even more resilient. That's the half golem for you. These guys have a stone body, which reduces damage by 5% and increases their robustness by a whopping 25%. Sure, they're not the fastest, speed is reduced by 5% and they're a bit heavier, but what they lack in speed, they make up for in pure durability. And then there are the upgrades, which really let you tailor your half golem to your playstyle. If you're looking to be a walking fortress, the siege body upgrade gives you even more damage reduction and a boost to robustness, but sacrifices a bit of speed. On the other hand, if you want to keep your half golem tough but also have a little more magic power, the crystal body upgrade increases your magic power while still keeping that solid damage reduction. Or if you're more of a physical attacker, the assault body is for you, boosting your attack power and giving you a little speed boost. At the end of the day, the half golem is all about taking hits, shrugging them off, and staying in the fight longer than anyone else. They might move slower, but if you're looking for a race that can tank damage and carry more items without breaking a sweat, half golem's your guy. Whether you're the kind of player who likes to deal damage or just absorb it all, the half golem's got something for you. So, there you have it. Whether you're summoning slimes to do your bidding or turning into an unmovable tank with a half golem, these races are sure to make your Rune Slayer experience much more exciting. Let me know in the comments which one you're leaning toward, or if you've got any fun strategies you use with them. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.